FiresideChat series. So for anyone who is new here, this series was started to explain and help our Indian founders working in the blockchain crypto space to come and talk about their product. Today we have a special guest. We have Firdosh Sheikh, who is the CEO and co-founder of Drife. So Drife is a platform working at decentralized, making your taxi services decentralized. So she will be talking more about herself and the product. And then they're also the winners of the Eternity Starfleet community, the program incubation program that happened back in March, I think. So was it?
Yeah.
Yes, perfect. So hi, welcome Firdosh. How are you doing today?
Hi, Mano. I'm really good. How are you?
Good, yeah. So it's great to have you. Been following your product for some time, since the Starfleet. I've been looking at it, and I think so. You guys are doing some really good work, and really look forward to seeing the launch of the product.
Thank
Uh,
you. Thank you so much.
all right. So Firdosh, tell me your journey. How did you? What have you been up to before you started with Drive? So what has been, your journey till now? Let's just try to understand that.
Sure. So I'm a chartered accountant by profession. So
Oh, nice.
I'm a finance background. Before starting Drive, I worked with Microsoft India as a financial analyst, and then I was working with a hedge fund company in Bangalore, and I was
Okay.
working with different hedge funds. That is how how a basic role looks like. Dealing with finances, and that is what I was doing before starting Drive, and then Drive happened to me in 2018, and ever since then I have not looked back. Never thought like I want to go back and do a 9 to 5 job. So yeah, it's been exciting. It's been there's something which keeps you at work and keeps you happy. I guess that is what you have to do. I tell it to everyone. If you're not happy with your job, just quit it and look at what you want.
Totally agree with
Very
you.
important.
I can totally relate to your, feelings and how you go, feel about Drive. So is this your first startup or?
Yes, Drive is my first startup.
All right. Okay. So you started, when did the idea come to you? How did you get into the blockchain space?
So
So,
again, I never wanted to do something in the tech background because I come from finance background, and
mm,
though I always thought of doing something on my own, I never thought I'll do something which I don't know about. And Drive was like, I every time I think about it, I like, okay, this was destined to happen to me, and that is why I'm here. So
mm,
it all started in 2018, and I'm someone who's using Uber and Ola in India ever since they launched in India. So I
okay.
like
Wow.
frequent user of those two platform in India. Until 2018, I thought everything is really good with these platforms and everybody is happy about it because I'm not sure if you heard about it. Initially, we heard the stories where they said drivers are earning lakhs of rupees and people are quitting their job and joining these platforms. And I thought everything is fine because for me, it was about my convenience
Mm,
in a metro city and I wanted a cab to pick me up every time. That is how it was for me. I never cared about how much I'm paying, and at different point of time the fare was changing. I never thought about it. But one night I was traveling to airport and this driver who picked me up said like, "Can you please cancel that cab? I'll still take you there and pay me $100 less from what you're paying." And I was like, it's late at night, I cannot cancel the trip. You still take me there, but I want to know what is wrong. Why are you asking me that? And for that particular trip, I was paying this driver 1300.
okay.
Driver told me like he's getting only 700 rupee for that trip.
Oh, wow.
And
Oh, wow.
that is something which hit me for the first time, like, oh, this is something I don't know. And after that day, every single day I kept on talking to drivers. I spoke with 1,000 plus driver in a time frame of 6 to 7 months, and every other driver was telling me the same story of how they are caught in this vicious circle. Because we all know a middle class Indian who has not gone to college or don't have a degree still knows to drive. A lot of people are dependent on driving and earning money for themselves. It's like we don't know what else we will do with ourselves because every other platform we see works on the same model of charging huge commission from us. Where do we go now? and,
Mm,
and that is I never thought I want to do it as a business. I was just talking to people and then realized, okay, I want to do this can be done this way. And I spoke with my co-founders like, why you are saying like this can be done in this way, why don't you do it? I was like, no, because I don't know anything. Like, how do I do it? And that is how our whole journey started. And that was the same time everybody was talking about blockchain and cryptocurrency, and my co-founder was also working on blockchain implementation in hedge fund as well. And
Okay.
me like, uh, whatever you're saying makes sense. You can do it using this technology. Let's do this. And we just went ahead, spent a lot of time, looking at what blockchain is. We both ourselves, studied about blockchain, how coding works and everything. And then we said, okay, let's look for people who can understand the idea of what we are trying to do,
Mm-hmm.
connect with us, and that is how we started this whole journey. We have three more member apart, like I told. There's Mudit, who's our co-founder, who take care of the tech part, and there are two more people, and these five people are a few people we met initially, and they're still here with us. The whole idea was, to take away that gap which has been created due to the technological disruption. They say, like, we bought everything close to you by giving it in a mobile application, but a big gap has been created with how traditional taxi used to perform and how it works now. You as a rider don't have choices, you don't have any rights. As a driver who's spending endless hours behind the vehicle don't have any choice. He cannot make a choice of whom he wants to go with, what destination he's going, what fare is. You don't have any choice left. It's just because you have been given a mobile application, your all rights has been taken away from you. So we want to keep that back to the community. We want both the driver and rider to a rider to pay what he actually deserves to pay, and driver to get what he deserves to earn. So with Drive, a driver can earn up to 100% of the fare that is been paid by a rider.
Mm-hmm.
Make it a commissionless platform. So yeah, that is how.
Very interesting. So when you were taking this cab, which city were you taking this cab from? Where?
Bangalore. So
Bangalore.
I was in Delhi before for my studies when I was doing my CA, and
Okay.
traveled to Bangalore. But both the places I was using
Yeah.
taxi. And
I'm sure. So we all people who have been to Bangalore can understand the plight, traveling to the airport and paying a bomb, and then we
yeah,
realize that cabbies don't get that much. So
exactly. That is really sad. These people
it is.
spend so much time behind wheels, and what they are getting is not what.
Nothing exactly, and we pay so much. So next time we
Yeah,
all can keep this in mind and negotiate a better price or this price. So yeah, for all Bangaloreans sitting there, we know how to get a better price. As soon as Drive gets launched, or
exactly.
you just negotiate the price. So this is and understanding about the platform. So you still building it, or you're ready to launch, or launched it?
We did build our MVP long back when we were using a different blockchain protocol, and
Mhm.
we did tested it, and it was working fine. Now we are at stage where we will be starting the testing with a close group of drivers before
Okay.
we launch our platform, and then we go live. We plan to go live in Q1 2021, and now
Mhm.
we started with driver onboarding.
All right, that's nice. So how many drivers or users I can ask right now currently there?
So we have close to 2,000 drivers who are
Oh,
all
that's great.
network and are in the process of getting whitelisted. So there's a whole process of, when you onboard a driver, the whole KYC, police verification. A lot of stuff needs to be done before anyone
I'm sure. I'm
works
sure.
with
So
me.
are you also using that in a decentralized way, or you have not
No,
been?
no, no. As of now, we are using a centralized platform. We are looking at different decentralized models which can be implemented at later point of time.
Okay, that's nice. That's interesting. So, so you told me about how you got into the Drive space. So, Drive is something that also encouraged you to understand about blockchain, or was it something else also that drove you to understanding about the technology?
So the again, because I come from finance background, I was very much aware about cryptocurrency. Like
Okay.
from 2016, I will not say I know cryptocurrency in 2017. A lot of people spoke about cryptocurrency in 2017,
Mm-hmm.
about Bitcoin specifically in 2016. And because someone from finance background always look for an underlying asset, like what is the underlying asset, how does this thing work, and I could not see anything at that point of time. I was like, no, it doesn't sound like a real project to me, like how stock trades, and there's a lot of things behind what we are trading. But
Mm-hmm.
Bitcoin, I could not see anything at that point of time.
Okay.
But then I didn't pay much attention to it, but I was always aware about it. But yeah, Drive is something which made me to look into it at a deeper level and see like how it works. and the whole story about blockchain and Bitcoin. So
All right.
it
Interesting.
drove me
So
towards it.
basically, Drife is your turning
Yes,
point towards it.
yes.
That's really nice. So tell me, how does Drive as a as an app will work for if I want to book the cab or if I want to start driving there. So how will that entire
Uh-huh.
process work? Please understand.
So, for any driver or rider, Drive will be as same as any other application that you're using now, like your Uber and Ola application. Drive looks like the same. We have a driver application, we have a rider application, and the process
Mhm.
is almost same. I never wanted to build something which will bug a user and say like I don't understand how this is working. The biggest problem I saw in this whole industry is like almost everybody in the blockchain space comes with a tech background and they're building something that they can use, and not the whole mass adoption is a problem because we cannot see beyond technology for our application, which is why I think there's still a lot of adoption problems with blockchain application. So this is something which I always told to my team. We have spent like months, they agreeing me like, okay, this looks fine and this can work, because I said they built a lot of things. I was like, no, I will not use it as a user, so I'll not allow you to sell it to the user. So I should
Makes sense.
it as a user, then only I'll go and tell people to use it. So which takes a lot of time for us to build something which is very user friendly, and
Mhm.
nobody should actually get a thought like this is built on blockchain, or blockchain is for us for our convenience or for things that I want to enable in the platform. My user should not get worried about why blockchain or what is blockchain. They should, any individual can use.
Makes
That
total
is the
sense.
idea.
Makes total sense. So you have a crypto to your own thing. You have your own token, or you're
We
using.
have our own token. We have our DRF token, but initially we will be using those token in a very limited capacity within the application. Like for drivers, we have subscription fees. For riders, we have discounts, and the amount of DRF token that you earn within the platform will enable different features within the platform.
Okay.
Time we will get more features to the DRF token, and how you can use, maybe like the idea is to use it to pay for your rides, but not at this point of time. We will bring it at point when we feel like we can do it and it is good to do it.
All right, that's interesting. Actually, that's since you're not from a technology background and you come from a CA background, so you do understand, how does it go for a user? They don't want to look at the technology, and that's
Exactly.
actually the true thing. For a user, it doesn't matter, what technology is being. It's the convenience. The
Hmm.
reason why we still use Facebook and the convenience of, how that experience is about that.
Hmm.
And
Exactly.
that's really interesting how you're putting that your own experience into your application and putting it out there. So that's very interesting. So now as we so you won the Eternity Starfleet
Yes.
program, right? So how
Yeah.
was that entire experience, working with them, and what did you learn? How did you feel that, before, things you didn't know, and after, what were the things that you have learned?
So we did participated in Eternity Starfleet in March. In the month of March, we had 7 day of boot camp where they selected 13 startups from India to do this boot camp.
Mm-hmm.
This 7 days we were been told like about idea validation, how to make your product fit. So a lot of things that you have been not taught. Nobody teaches you how to do your own startup. We learn a lot of things in our life, but not this. You have to do this
True.
by yourself. You fail, then you do something in a different way, then you fail, and you keep on trying things in a different way to make sure like, okay, this makes sense. So this whole those 7 days made a lot of sense specifically for me, because again I was a first time entrepreneur. So they tell you, how do you go ahead with certain things of building your own product, validating your own idea, talking to your customers or your users when you're building something, understand what are their pain points and then build your product. Don't build product for yourself and build it for people who can use it. Is something is very important for everyone, because someday an idea comes to us and we're like, okay, I want to do this. We don't go ahead and validate it with people like, uh, are there general people who will be using your platform, which is very important when you make a project out of your idea. And then there's a lot of things, like there's an endless list of things that you can learn from when you go to an accelerator program.
Mm-hmm.
That's really important for everyone, actually. Everyone, I'll suggest to everyone, if you get a chance to be a part of any accelerator or any bootcamp, go ahead and do it, because it will actually change your perspective towards how you were doing things before and how you want to do it in future. So yeah.
That's nice. That's very interesting. Actually, yes, you're right. We have never been taught, how to run a startup or be an entrepreneur. So that's what it said. An entrepreneur jumps from a plane and just learns how to make a parachute and land.
Exactly.
And that's exactly what entrepreneurship is. So it's very interesting, and it's always good to take some help and learn from people who have already
Hmm.
gone through that path, and understand from their experience. Build on your own
Exactly.
experience.
Hmm.
That's very interesting. So you're when are you planning to launch? In quarter one, is the month decided or
So we're looking at March at this point of time. March,
okay?
most
That's great.
favorable month for us.
So
Yeah.
you will be you're done with your onboarding and you will be
Yes.
launching with your beta
Mhm.
version of it, of the application.
Yes. Yes.
That's great.
Mhm.
That's great. So have you had any rounds of funding till now, or are you looking at planning at any fund raising any funds?
So, till we did Eternity, we were self-funded. Among ourselves, we funded the project till then. Eternity is our investor now as well.
All
So
right.
they are the first VC in our company who have funded our project.
That's nice.
And now we are
Congratulations.
looking for, thank you. Now we are looking for more investor for the launch plan, because with the rider part, it's very huge cost that a company has to bear when we want to onboard a lot of riders to our platform. Now we
Mhm.
are, looking at more investment at this point.
Okay. So you're looking at a VC round investment, or you're looking at a ICO kind of an investment or something?
Both. We are looking at both. We are trying to do both at this point of time. We want to do an ICO, and again, this whole accelerator proved to be very helpful for us, because they are supporting us. Like I never thought expected, people who fund you will also support you in a way that
So obviously, yeah, it's
really
very good.
helpful. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're really helpful in this as well. Like,
That's nice. So Eternity itself is a really good project, So
yeah,
they will obviously be supporting and rooting for you. So
yeah,
sitting out here, so guys, whoever is interested, keep do have a check out Drive and see, look out for the ICOs if they plan in 2021,
yeah.
and look at the success and go ahead and you can see how how they are going about. So that's something is happening. So you are using Eternity as a platform, blockchain, or you're
Yes,
using
we are using Eternity as a platform.
all right. So you mentioned that you did your MVP on a different platform.
Yes.
Which platform were you using at
So
that
we
time?
were using EOS at that point of time, and then because of RAM and CPU cost, a lot of issues happened, because I don't wanted my driver or rider to bear that cost. That is,
Makes sense. Makes
and
sense.
then that is something made me like, no, I want to look beyond EOS as a platform, and I want to see what else I can do. And that is where I came to know about Eternity. I said, okay, let me participate in their accelerator program.
That's nice. So basically, your change of platform was because of the RAM and the cost and everything.
Yes, yes.
So as a founder, as a CEO, what
Mhm.
all were you looking at, when you were trying to judge the platforms? So just for our, upcoming
Mhm.
aspiring entrepreneurs, if they want to also choose what all are they can they look at, in terms
Mhm.
of seeing what all can work for them.
So I guess it's all about what platform you're building, okay? Like ours is a platform which interact with outside world the most. A ride hailing platform in itself is a very exhaustive platform, and interact with a lot of different parties. Like we have map services, and then we have to take care of all the GPS location of drivers and riders. Then there are payments, their referrals and rewards. A lot of things, like a ride-hailing platform has like exhaustive list of most of the things that you want to do in a one specific
Mhm.
platform. For us, the biggest question was, interacting with the outside world when you use a blockchain or smart contract. Most of your blockchain does not allow you to interact with the outside world, but Eternity in itself has this Oracle service which acts as a bridge between blockchain and the outside world, which allow us to interact with, the maps, and take care of the locations of driver, which where we can really interact with the blockchain and the outside world. And
Mhm.
the biggest plus point for us to use Eternity as a blockchain. Also, on-chain transaction cost is very low, a cost that even as a company I bear, take it from the subscription fee of my driver, I still make money. So if you're building something on a platform whose gas fee, or be it RAM or CPU cost, like different protocols have different kind of fees, is high, and you won't be able to take care of that from your pocket, from whatever charges you're taking from your user
Mm-hmm.
platform. At the end of the day, you want to build something which can be used by people, and the cost of using it is not that high that people withdraw from using your application. So because I come from finance background, I looked at this point. There are different protocols you can use, but unless and until it is something where your cost is not that huge, you have to take care of this thing. Most importantly, how much you're paying to use
Makes
those
total sense.
services
Makes
is
total sense. Makes
very
it's a
important
very
question
good
that you have to ask
it's
yourself.
a very good business point, taking out there. So
Mhm.
to just summarize, guys, when you are looking at building your own product, look at what best suits your particular product. Don't go for what is there in the. Don't run after any platform or a technology. Look at what exactly can solve your problem. So for Drive, it
Exactly.
was eternity because of the complexity of the app. That's why goes about. So same way, look at what can solve you out, because everything, every platform, everything depends on what problem you're trying to solve. So look at that, and look and see how things can go about. All right, so just now, coming to little end to our conversation, what was the highest and the lowest point in your entire 2-year journey of building Drive and going about it?
So I guess lowest point, I guess you have low point every day. Every day is like, you feel like something or the other thing, and then I guess there is something that motivates you to wake up next day and put the same level of effort that you kept last day. So I'll not say there's a single lowest point in your life. You'll see low every day, and you should see low every day, because that is the test of you to see, like, are you very serious about doing what you're doing? Because if
Mm-hmm.
you single low point and then like you come out of it, you just quit because you had the lowest point, it's over for you. So I guess we should always see this failures in our life of every day you fail at some or the other thing, but what motivates you to come back and work more than what you did yesterday. So we all have our lows. But I guess for me, because when I speak a lot about Drive, that when we talk to people and they're like, this is very surreal, we haven't seen something like this. So I guess a lot of people told me this is very surreal. We haven't seen something like this, how this will work. So again, it feels bad when people say we don't know how it will work. But I guess that is where I thought, like, I want to prove all of these people, like when they say like this looks surreal, I want to show them this in reality, like, look, this is how it looks. So yeah, that.
That's so before I ask my next question, just to understand. So since blockchain is and crypto has been when in 2018, if you look at it with the
Mhm.
AI crypto ban happening, the
Mhm.
technology also people were not understanding. They used to go about
Yes.
it's something, it's illegal, or people
Yeah.
not understand. So
Mhm.
did you ever face any issues like with you trying to, when you're explaining it to your friends or family or anyone, not being able to understand and how things can go about, because it can be a difficult thing. So how did you manage working
Yeah,
around
so I guess you might also have faced this people, saying like Bitcoin is blockchain. I love the story for.
that? Yes.
Yeah, okay. Now that is where you start explaining people how Bitcoin is different, how blockchain is different. And a lot of people said like, okay, you're building something which is already banned. Like, no, that is not banned. And again, it was just a virtual ban. Bitcoin was never banned. You and me, all everybody was using Bitcoin, even when there was whole of this, banking transaction ban. So yeah, there's a problem with people understanding, and because of a lot of fake news is going all around the world, people obviously perceive it in that way. We even heard about 10-year jail.
Yes, I remember it was good 2 years of fun, and with
Yeah,
2020 a post ban also, that fun is still going on. With fake news
yeah.
spreading all kinds of rumors and all kinds of messages.
Exactly. And at one point, it was like, okay, think whatever you want to think, because I know what I'm doing and how it makes sense. So that is, that's the point to you end up like, I can't do anything more than this. I've explained to you enough about how it works, what it is. But yeah, I guess in our country specifically, people are still learning about. I guess 2020 is a year we saw a lot of projects in India after this whole ban thing got over. People are now showing a lot of interest in this.
Mhm.
Maybe
They
we'll
are.
see
They are.
really nice projects
So
in
they were back
future.
again also, before the ban
Yes,
there was a lot of interest. Now
exactly.
that interest
Hmm.
is coming back because they have also
Hmm.
understood, they also now over the years understood, what the difference is between the technology and the
Exactly.
crypto and how crypto is going to be useful. So that clarity is coming out. So
Hmm.
now you talked about, having a low point and it can be one day that high point comes. So what is your personal way of, keeping yourself motivated and alongside, motivating your team and seeing about, because that's one thing very important for any entrepreneur
Hmm.
to be motivated all that. So what are your own
So
acts?
even before I started with Drive, I have this one policy in my life. Like if I don't want to have regrets in my life of not doing something. Even when I was doing Drive, at certain point I was like, okay, let's not do this. This is very huge. There are big people in this world. And then I told myself, like, if I don't do this today, somebody else will do it tomorrow. And I don't want to regret about it. Like I didn't have that courage to take that one step towards it, and I am seeing someone else do what I really wanted to do. So that is what keeps me active all the time, and that is what I tell my team also. Like, if you quit today, I'm very sure tomorrow, or in 5 years or 10 years, we'll see somebody doing it. And we had that advantage of understanding this whole problem at a very
Mhm.
stage which nobody understood. So we have to keep doing it, because I personally don't want to regret about that. I didn't take one next step to do this.
That's really nice. I totally make sense. I can relate to that. We all have that point where, we are like, okay, this might not work, or, why put your thing or something else looks
Mhm.
more interesting. And then you turn back around and you realize, oh, this was a good idea, or, you should have gone
Exactly.
ahead that. So that
Yes.
makes total sense. So one should never regret. And if you decide something, guys, just jump in because you learn swimming only once you jump into the water. You
And
don't
I
learn
guess,
swimming sitting on the
yeah.
side.
And I guess, when you have your own entrepreneur journey, your learning curve is never ending curve. You're learning every day, and that is something I personally feel like at this age, I would have not learned what all I have learned in this journey of 2 years. So it's huge learning. Even if you step out of it one day, be it, anything goes wrong, you are stepping out as a better person in yourself. Your personality has developed for like 10 to 15 years that you would have taken to get there in your corporate journey.
True, true, true. That is there. I have been running my own startups for last, I think so, 4 years now.
Mhm.
So being in and out of startups, and I can tell you that the journey has been amazing. So every day and
Exactly.
every time with every startup, I've learned something new. So it's really interesting. As you mentioned, the learning is never stopping, and it's just an onward, upward going, uh,
Yeah.
journey. So anyway, so just we are about to finish at that time. Before we do that, I have a quick rapid questions for you, rapid fire round time. So there are
Okay.
no options for you. You just need to answer. Okay. Uh,
Okay.
so who is your ideal, in this world if you would need to choose someone?
I guess Steve Jobs, I relate to him at times because, they say like he's someone who didn't know how to, do things. Like he was not from the technology background. I don't come from technology background also.
All right. That's good. And common thing was that he also visited India and then he went back and started Apple. You are in India, so let's see that there's the next innovative company coming out of India. That's
Yeah.
great. All right. So a podcast or a blog that keep following to keep yourself updated in the
So
blockchain space or generally otherwise.
I really don't follow a lot of people in blockchain space. I guess there's one guy called Ivan on Tech who does a lot of crypto and crypto YouTube channel. I follow him at times, but I on the other side, like I follow there's a guy called Nas Daily,
All
uh,
right.
big influencer now. So he talk a lot about world and things. So I really follow him.
All right. That's nice. All right. So any influencers in particular you follow in this space that you would always look at their tweets or anything that's happening around with them?
I guess Tim Dapper is someone I look at because he's doing a lot in the blockchain space. Their whole venture is looking into the blockchain space. So I keep following what the Dapper Institute is doing.
They are doing some really good things,
Yes,
and
they're doing really good.
his
Yeah.
predictions and what he says has been coming out very true till now.
Yeah,
So we
exactly.
look forward to rooting for him and seeing how things work out. That's right. All right. So if you were to put all your money in one token, which would it be and why?
I guess not at this point of time. Everything is at this
Not at
point
this
of
point
time.
of time. There is. This
I
would be
guess
the worst case.
I could not be part of the rally for Uniswap. I looked at it at a point of time, but I guess now you cannot be a part of it. It's already at high. But I guess a lot of DEX or DeFi exchanges or DeFi platforms. I'm not following a lot of them, but yeah, I guess anybody can study about different DeFi platform and see which platform look good to them. That is the money making thing at this
So
point of.
which one will you be putting money in if you were
I,
to give a
I I guess not now because I am not into a lot of crypto space at this point of time. Apart from looking at what Bitcoin prices are at this point of time, I'm not looking at the crypto space a lot. So
All right. Okay. So you mentioned about DEX or centralized. So have you invested in the past? Have you done any trading? Have you? So you prefer the?
I was a I'm a trader. Like I trade mostly in stocks. I did trading. I try a lot of different new what do we say, different type of tradings that Binance brings in. So I tried their margin trading, their futures, and every other trading that they are bringing. I make sure that I try them and see like how it is working with crypto.
All
So
right. So you prefer a centralized exchange or a
at
decentralized?
this point of time, centralized exchange because of the because of liquidity is a question for decentralized exchange. Decentralized exchange are the future, but we are yet to see that liquidity there.
Makes sense. Makes total sense. I told. All right. An entrepreneur or a public figure that you admire currently.
Elon Musk is someone I've been looking up to. Yeah,
Okay, so we all look up to him. He's
yeah,
one person we all admire, and he's been.
yes,
Uh,
yes.
so a book that you would recommend our community members, to follow or
So
to
I
read.
recently read this book, 21 Lesson from 21st Century, I guess, from by Yuval Noah Harari. That's
Mhm.
a really nice pick. Everybody should actually read that. You'll see a lot of things that will change in next 30 years, and are we ready for it or not? Is
I haven't read it, but I've heard a lot about the book. So yes,
that's really nice.
I would also, vote for this book. That yes, I've heard some really good things. I have to come around,
Exactly.
reading about it. But
Hmm.
yes, guys, go ahead and purchase it if you haven't, or borrow it from a friend, or
Yeah,
download a Kindle copy and do have a read within this year before it ends.
exactly.
See how the next century and the next century is going to unfold for you. All
Yeah.
right. Before we ended up, anyone has any questions, they can post it in the comments, the wherever you're watching, and we can take it up from there. All right. Okay. I can't. Okay. So if there are no questions, you have any ending? Any thing that you want to leave a message for our community members, or anything you want to just say that to keep them encouraged or something.
Sure. So I guess we have spent a lot of time building this platform, and what I can say is like we have gone through this exciting journey, and now very soon you'll be able to use the application, and it will redefine how you were using ride-hailing platform before. So I want everyone to stay excited till we launch your platform.
Perfect. All right. Thank you, guys. Keep yourself tuned, and Drive will be launching in March. So do check it out, and give it a hoot for Firdosh and her team. They have been working really hard for this. And thank you for joining us on a Thursday evening for this fireside chat. Thank you, Firdosh, for taking out time and
Thank you.
talking to our community members and encouraging them and sharing your journey with them. Besides that, guys, stay tuned. We'll have more such fireside chats coming in our coming weeks before this year ends. So that'll be interesting to share, learn, and from their own stories. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Good
Thank you,
night.
Manu.
Thanks.
Bye.